Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world that celebrates talent loudly and consistency quietly. We applaud the sudden breakthrough, the overnight success, the viral moment. We admire the prodigy, the genius, the natural. But what we rarely talk about, what truly changes lives, builds legacies, and shapes history, is consistency, not the glamorous kind, not the kind that gets applause on day one, but the quiet, invisible, often boring commitment to showing up again and again. Because consistency is the real talent. Talent can open a door. Consistency keeps it open. Talent can impress. Consistency transforms. Talent can start a journey. Consistency is what finishes it. And the most powerful truth of all is this: consistency is available to everyone. You don't need special genes. You don't need perfect timing. You don't need permission. You don't need to be chosen. You just need to keep going. From a young age, many of us are taught a dangerous lie: that success belongs to the gifted few. That some people are born with it, and others are not. That if something feels hard, maybe it isn't meant for us. So when progress is slow, we question ourselves. When results don't come quickly, we assume failure. When we struggle, we believe we're lacking something essential. But struggle is not proof of inadequacy. Struggle is proof of effort. Behind every talented person you admire is a long history of repetition, frustration, discipline, and persistence. You just don't see it. You see the performance, not the practice. You see the victory, not the years of preparation. What looks like talent is often consistency in disguise. Consistency doesn't trend. It doesn't go viral. It doesn't announce itself. Consistency is waking up early when motivation is nowhere to be found. It's doing the work when no one is watching. It's staying committed when progress is invisible. It's choosing discipline over drama, process over praise, long-term growth over short-term comfort. Consistency is repeating the same small actions even when they feel insignificant, especially when they feel insignificant. Because small actions done daily don't stay small. One step doesn't change your life. One decision doesn't rewrite your story. One effort doesn't define you, but repeated steps do. Repeated decisions do. Repeated effort does. Consistency compounds. Just like interest in a bank account, consistency grows quietly at first. The change is subtle, almost unnoticeable, and that's where most people quit, right before the growth becomes visible. They mistake slow progress for no progress. They confuse patience with stagnation. They abandon the process because the reward hasn't arrived on their timeline. But consistency doesn't work on your schedule. It works on its own, and if you stay long enough, it always pays. Motivation is emotional. Consistency is intentional. Motivation depends on mood. Consistency depends on commitment. Motivation says, "I'll try." Consistency says, "I'll do it anyway." You cannot build a life, a career, a relationship, or a dream on motivation alone. Motivation fades, life gets messy, energy fluctuates, circumstances change, consistency remains. Consistency is not about feeling ready. It's about being willing to act without certainty, willing to work without applause, willing to continue without guarantees. That willingness is power. Every time you show up, you send yourself a message: I can be trusted. I follow through. I do what I say I'll do. And slowly, quietly, your identity changes. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries. You become someone who does. Consistency builds self-respect, and self-respect fuels confidence, and confidence changes everything. You don't become confident by waiting. You become confident by keeping promises to yourself. Consistency requires a kind of courage we don't talk about enough. The courage to be ordinary, ordinary effort. Ordinary days, ordinary progress. Most people want extraordinary results without ordinary discipline, but greatness is built in the ordinary moments, the repetitive, mundane, sometimes tedious work that no one celebrates. Consistency means accepting that today might not feel special, that today might not feel productive, that today might not feel meaningful, and doing the work anyway, because meaning isn't found in intensity. It's found in continuity. Anyone can work hard for a week. Anyone can be disciplined for a month. Anyone can give maximum effort when excitement is high. But consistency asks a harder question. Can you give steady effort when excitement is gone? Can you maintain the habit after the novelty fades? Can you continue when progress slows? Can you stay committed when results are delayed? Consistency beats intensity every time. Burn bright and burn out, or burn steadily and build something that lasts. Consistency requires faith in something you cannot yet see, faith that your effort matters, faith that growth is happening beneath the surface, faith that today's work will serve tomorrow's version of you. You won't always feel the payoff. You won't always see the progress. But consistency trusts the process, even when the evidence is incomplete. And that faith, applied daily, becomes transformation. Quitting is, you will miss days, you will fall short, you will make mistakes. Consistency is not perfection, it's persistence. It's not about never failing. It's about returning after disappointment, returning after doubt, returning after fear tells you to stop. Consistency says, I'm still here. You may not be the smartest, you may not be the fastest, you may not be the most gifted, but consistency gives you a chance no one can take away. Over time, consistent effort outpaces raw talent that isn't nurtured. Discipline overtakes potential that isn't developed. Commitment surpasses enthusiasm that fades. Consistency is the great equalizer. It allows ordinary people to achieve extraordinary things. There is power in waking up and recommitting every day, not to perfection, not to immediate success, but to effort. Consistency doesn't ask for your best day. It asks for your presence. Show up tired, show up unsure, show up imperfect, just show up. Because momentum doesn't come from thinking. It comes from doing. Time will pass whether you act or not. A year from now, you will be older. A decade from now, your life will be different. The question is not whether time will move. The question is whether you will move with it. Consistency turns time into an ally instead of an enemy. What you repeat becomes what you are. At the end of the day, people are not remembered for their bursts of effort. They are remembered for what they sustained, for the values they lived daily, for the work they committed to long term, for the way they showed up consistently, for others and for themselves. Consistency builds trust. Consistency builds mastery. Consistency builds legacy. You don't need more talent. You don't need more confidence. You don't need a perfect plan. You need consistency. One step today, another tomorrow, and another the day after that. Not because it's easy, but because it's worth it. Consistency is not loud. It is not dramatic. It does not demand attention. But over time, it changes everything. And that is why consistency, quiet, patient, relentless consistency, is the real talent. Thank you.